That's what makes me Huckleberry Finn, a hero.
There you are. What have I told you? Do not escape and do not take my things.
Okay, see this? Well, as I told you, Mark Twain didn't tell anything correct. I mean, mainly. But I guess we would know just if he's here. How can we ask him if he's not here?
But we have the book in the library. Maybe we can go check it.
Oh, it's right next to me. Well, but I will have to open it.
Of course we have.
Mark Twain.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Well, they were talking about my book. They called me Mark Twain, right? But actually my real name was not Mark Twain. Do you know that? I was Samuel L. Clemens, and I was born on November the 30th, 1835. Yeah, I'm quite old now. When I was 4, I was born in Florida, Missouri. And when I was 4, we moved. We moved to a town called Hannibal, Missouri, sorry. And Missouri at that time was an slave state, and we lived on the banks of the Mississippi River. I have to confess that my father owned one slave. Yeah, I have to confess that. But my uncle, he owned several. So I experienced the problem of slavery. Yeah. When I was 11, my father died. Yeah, it is really sad. But he died, so I have to drop out. Yeah, I became a dropout when I was just around 11. It was in 1847, I remember, because I like to study, but I have to I have to leave the school because we didn't have enough money. So I started working as a printer's apprentice. Yeah, printer's apprentice is the word. Yeah. I really love writing and reading, so here I have the opportunity to read and write every single day. In 1865, my first short story was published. It was called It was called Jim Smiley and the Jumping Frog. It was a really good story, yeah. And they published it on papers all over the country. All over the country, my people were reading my short story. So I decided that I should go on a lecture tour, and I visit a lot of cities in the United States. Yeah, I really love writing and reading. And in 1869, let me check. Yeah, 1869, my first book was published. It was a book, not a short story. And it was called Innocents Abroad. I married my beloved Lily, or Olivia, and we have 4 children, Landon, Susan, Clara, and Jim. But you know what things were at that time? So my oldest one and my only son died. He was just 2. Well, that shocked me a lot. Then I started to work more and more harder, and I wrote the story, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Life in the Mississippi, and of course The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It was in 1874 to 1891. I wrote some of my most famous pieces. The problem was that I like to criticize society. So some of my books were really political, and when time passed by, I started to writing things more political. So some people didn't like my work. So a lot of my books were never published. I traveled all around the world. I was really lucky. But I experienced the problems of imperialism. I saw how imperialism treat the society and the problems that poor people live because of that. So I declare myself an anti-imperialism, and even now that I'm just a memory, I am against it too. I died. Yeah, I died in 1910. I was 74. But I have to tell you something really important, that I will never die, because I will be kept here, inside this book or other books. So I will be alive and happy here if you read my books and if you allow me to be part of your life. About Huckleberry Finn, the adventures of this young man, it was realistic. I wrote about the society I was living in, probably 20 years after some things, 20 years before. I was inspired by other events, but I wrote about this young man. But he was living in a society. He was living a normal life. He would have adventures, but he was a normal kid. And also his friend Tom Sawyer. I wrote in vernacular English because my target group they were people from middle class and low social classes. So I want them to understand. I never wrote in a poetical way, just in vernacular English. And also, well, I wrote about ordinary people living ordinary lives in a regular society. Sorry, Huckleberry, for telling you that you are ordinary, but you are a normal child. You are not you are a hero, but you are not that kind of hero with superpowers. You are just a child. So, yeah, I think I covered all. I don't know, do you have any questions?
I was wondering about what you mentioned, writing about ordinary people.
Yeah.
And that struck me. I mean, pardon me. Huckleberry, are you even listening to the man he's talking to you?
Hi, Huckleberry. How are you?
So, I recall you mentioned that. And, well, now that I actually told the story and that you heard the story, I think about the main characters that we described. So, I recall 4 main characters. Do you need something? No, Jim, I'm good. You can go. So that's Jim. You already met Huckleberry. And that's Sawyer Boy, which God knows where that kid is. He's so adventurous.
What
You
about
don't
me?
know. You're not a character in the book.
But I
You
wrote
You wrote the book.
But
Don't interrupt people. Don't make me civilize you too.
I'm serious.
So we have Huckleberry Finn, which you saw is an innocent boy. Yet he's trapped in this identity of being the son of the local drunk. He shows all this innocence of a child, and yet he's not entirely corrupted by the hypocrisy that he's living in. He's smart, he's caring, he worries, and most importantly, he's willing to come to his own conscience. He follows his own thoughts, in spite of what society rules. We have that disastrous boy, Tom Sawyer. And Tom Sawyer is everything that Huck is not. You see, Tom is the opposite of Huckleberry in so many ways. He's always breaking the rules, always trying to scam people, to have money, he's clever, but in this particular way. We have Jim, as you saw him. And even though he's very superstitious, very shy, he's the most mature adult in the story. He's sentimental, but he's intelligent, he's practical, and he develops a deep and very committed friendship with Huckleberry. And at last, you have me. And even if you see me, I'm a decent lady, I'm the portrait of everything that is wrong with our society. I follow the rules and call myself a moral lady, yet I'm a hypocrite. You see, I carry in myself all the critical, religious, and ethical values that were supposed to be important at that time. Yet I am not the most mature adult in this story.
Interesting analysis, yeah.
Alright.
Do you have any questions?
Uh,
I'm here, I'm dead, but, well, you allow me to be in your life, so.
Well, now that you mention it, I am a little bit curious about how you wrote this story. I mean, did you use some sort of specific language or something to achieve what you did in your book?
Well, if you ask me, I'm prepared. I used metaphor. The widow, she cried over me and called me a poor lost lamb, your sister. And you, Huckleberry. Your sister was comparing Huckleberry. Huckleberry, what are you doing? Stop it. She was comparing Huckleberry with a lamb. Not in an explicit way, but she was doing that. Personification. The wind was trying to whisper something to me, and I couldn't make out what it was. We all know that the wind cannot whisper, right? So that's a human characteristic. Civilly, they are as tall as a tree and as big around as a church. Well, you can notice that I was comparing something with a thing that was huge. And my heart jumped among my lungs, a hyperbole. Probably his heart was not jumping that much, so I wanted to tell that he was excited or he was so afraid that his heart was jumping crazy, like a crazy heart. And the irony. Well, the irony here, we have the shepherd's sons and the grain gardeners, and those families attend to church. They were there, but they carried their guns because they were fighting against each other. So the thing is that the ironic thing here is that they went to church and they heard about peace, about loving each other, about caring about each other, but at the end they kill each other because they just have the opportunity to do it. So that's very ironic because this book talks a lot about religion. She is a really religious woman, her sister too, but at the end when they go there, they heard the sermon, but they kill each other. So it was very ironic, I think. Yeah. So, bye.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you for
Bye.
the honor of your presence.
Goodbye.
Now, Huckleberry, did you listen to the man?
I guess.
What do you mean you guess? You either listen or don't listen. So did you or did you not?
I guess. Well, now, moving on, this old man do not know much about my story. Well, but as this literary work, as my story, contains many elements, now we're going to talk about the themes, motives, symbols, all embedded to the historical context of my story. Because as they are interrelated with some of the elements. Well, first we're going to start with the language. This story was written, as Mark Trent said before, in vernacular English, also called sometimes African American vernacular English or black vernacular English. This is kind of a mixture between what we call like the standard English and some elements of African language. Well, even though The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was written around 1884, which is after the Civil War, colored people were still treated as second-class citizens. And if you read the book, you will find many contractions, and they also mention a lot the N word. But what is the N word? Do you know what could the N word mean, or what does the N stand for? Raise your hand if you know. You. Tell me.
The N-word?
The N word.
Say
Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it.
Huckleberry.
Could you please say it? Nigger. Nigger. Okay. The N word or nigger is mentioned all over the book. But even though we can think it is insulting, maybe for the original readers of my story, it wasn't, because it was really normal at that time. Well, that is mainly why Mark Twain wrote this book with vernacular English, to make it more down to earth, with those contractions, being ungrammatical, and with a more casual language. And, yeah. Well, moving on, please. We have satire. This book commends a society at Twain's time, usually through the use of exaggeration of sarcasm. Twain uses this tool to kind of express what he feels inside this society. And that leads us to one of the main themes in this book, which is the hypocrisy of a civilized society. Civilized. Okay. Twain shows that society is twisted. One of the many examples is Miss Watson, this old ugly lady. She is always correcting me about what I said. For example, when I say civilized and she says civilized, she's talking about civilization, and she's teaching me to hate someone who's different, or someone whose society or herself think is unworthy. And these actions, such as helping him, are punished. But actions like those, or coming to church and then killing each other, are not forbidden. Although myself, I'm a very thing, seem like a good kid, I'm kind of corrupted by society. Because they are always telling me what to do, what is right and what is wrong. And this whole social order. But when I meet Jim, this whole scheme breaks, and I start to see him as a person. Well, finally, we have the moral components. This is a really tough book because it challenges you to think of tough issues and make a decision about those tough issues. Huckleberry Finn, myself, I had an apprehension with society, and my growing relationship with Jim makes me realize of what is wrong, what is right. More than once, all along this book, you see me saying that I'd rather go to hell than betray some of my greatest friends, such as Tom Sawyer or Jim, than follow what I have always been taught. I base my decision on my experience. I follow my heart. And by the novel's end, I learned to make a difference between what is wrong and what is right, what is good and what is evil. And then, could you help me out?
Yes, sir.
We are friends. We're not your servants.
Based on my experience, slavery and racism were always present in my life. 2 decades after the end of the Civil War, my country, especially the South, was still struggling with racism and the after effects of slavery. I remember that some years ago, a plan was created in order to put the United States back together and integrate us, the free slaves, into society. But that was really complicated. Even though it seemed to be on a positive path, some laws were designed to limit our power in the South, limiting also limiting the oppression. Slavery was also depicted as an allegorical representation of our condition in the United States. And if I have to talk about me, and I don't like it, I was under control of white society, a society that was illogical and also wicked. Miss Watson, and I'm calling on this, and Sally Phillips expressed no concern about the injustice of slavery and also the cruelty of separating me from my dear family. Even though I suffered when I was a fugitive slave, I have to say that it was a good thing to meet Huck Finn. He is my best friend. He is my best friend, and I never doubted him for a second. I knew that he would receive money because of me, but in the end, he took his points until the end. One of the things it made me feel good was Huckleberry and Tom's adventures. Adventures and also childhood excused them from the society in which they were immersed in that period. And I realized also that sometimes Huck acted as an adult, even though he hadn't a proper family. I can also say that our journey was full of lies and puns. In our journey, we met Duke and the Dolphin, and both found men, it is necessary to say that, and they lied and hurt a large number of people, innocent people. And also, Huckleberry Finn lied too, but everything was with a purpose. I think for Huckleberry Finn telling a lie can be a good thing, and it depending, of course, on his purpose, and I know in the end that it was a part of his learning process. I remember that I met Huck on the Jackson's Island, and during that time I was very superstitious. I remember when I said that the witch had stolen my cat, and then I said that it would rain and a big storm hit our canoe. But these stories had a basis in reality because I had a wide experience as a slave. Also, the Mississippi River was the ultimate symbol of freedom, and alone in our raft, we could not speak with anyone, just Huckleberry and me. And the river carried me from the free states and from Huck from his abusive father, and also the restrictive civilizing of my parents. As I said, we met the Dolphin and also the Duke, and it was a period of a real danger and also of the destruction. very proud of